Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cook County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Wednesday, June the 11th, 2025, and it's 9:00 a.m. I'd ask Crook to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we'll start with public comment. If anyone has any public comment, please feel free to come up to the pedestal there and talk to me. Gail? No, at the beginning, at the end, we have a public comment period.
I don't want to.
You talk about it now, or we talk about it, and you can talk about it at the end. Mike? We have on occasions, but most generally, we're just doing the comments before and after. Is there?
Just one point of clarification. If it's a public hearing, if the agenda item is on the agenda as a public hearing, then we will open it up for public.
True, yes. So whatever is there some item on here that you want to talk about? Is it the public hearing? On the budget or? That's not a public hearing.
That's correct.
So if you want to speak on that, then you would speak now or at the end.
We can always make an exception too.
Right, we can
Yeah, let's
wait.
just-
Why don't we just
Why don't we just wait so it's a pertinent conversation? Yeah, let's,
makes you feel more comfortable? I
Yeah.
think that's okay.
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Gives you a little bit more time.
So does anyone else want to comment? Hearing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. Entertain a motion.
I make this has all been discussed before, and I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second,
Motion's been made and second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion?
No discussion?
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye. So moved. Discussion, first item, Crook Roundup funding request. Steve Holiday.
Good morning.
Steve?
Been a while since I got to sit up here. Good morning. I'm Steve Holiday, president of the Cricketer Roundup. Here to ask for just a little bit of relief on some rent. When we put our budget together, we were going off of what was last year's numbers. And we didn't have a contract at the time that was agreed upon. And actually, I don't know if you're aware, but we agreed upon a contract last night. I've signed it, Gail signed it, and is waiting for signatures from you guys. But there's just a piece that, again, I guess here to ask for $2,500. I don't want to be greedy, just a little bit of help because like I said, our budgets were set off the original balance or the original rent of 22, and the rent now is at 25,500. That's $3,500. Like I said, take 2,500. Want to give me 3,500? I'll take that too. But like I said, just something to help fill that gap. Are there any questions on that? So I guess let me back up. Yesterday, the Fair Board had a meeting. I was able to sit in on it, and we had very productive, a very good conversation. So ended with, like I said, the contract. Both of us signed it, and I'm just waiting for someone from the county to sign it. So it was a good meeting, good productive meeting.
Well, I'm glad you had a good meeting last night.
So way off my.
Yeah, it's been a fun process.
It has been. It was long and arduous, but we made it, and I think we'll come out better on the other side.
Perfect.
It'll be better for the long.
Perfect. Okay. Want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to do 2,500. Donate 2,500 to the Crooked River Roundup out of the TRT grant funds. Because, I mean, I think this is
I
the
think that you
largest.
attract people from
Yeah.
over 51 miles away,
Just a few.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
don't, we're in trouble or we can't use TRT funds. So
So yeah, this is definitely
Significant amount, yes.
easily straight faced that you guys are bringing people in from outside the community to use hotels, restaurants, gas stations, all kinds of different
That-
Prineville menswear, all kinds of different stores in town are being
well, that's the-
utilized by the people that are coming in from the rodeo.
You're
So
bringing money from outside the zip code into the zip code.
yes,
Because otherwise it just sits there and circles around from neighbor to neighbor. And that doesn't do much.
Christina?
we have a comment here. Can you speak up? Because this fan is like, that's why I'm hovering next to Brian right now.
I thought you liked my deodorant.
I do. I really like Brett. Here we are, we're bonding, but anyway.
I just want to clarify to make sure we're using the correct funds, that the intent is to use the tourism funds from the transient room tax.
yes,
It would be the
tourism grant
transient-
funds.
Thank you.
Yes. And they're from over, we need to have them from over 51 miles away is my understanding. So yes.
You need anything showing that, we can get that to you too.
I'll be there. I'll probably see it.
Okay. So are you done with your motion?
I've made my motion.
All right, I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second to approve 2,500 to the Crooked River Roundup. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye. So moved.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay,
Dave.
Thank
very
you.
much. Appreciate it.
Right. Hope everything goes smooth.
We'll get to work.
Okay.
See you in a couple weeks. Huh?
Yes, you will see us.
Right around the
Oh.
corner. Debbie Shaw and gang. Kim,
I don't know why this fan always comes on at the worst moment.
hard to hear.
It is.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for having us here today. We like to come in a couple of times a year just to give you guys an update on the work that we are doing at the chamber and with Explore Prineville. So I'm not going to read the slides one by one.
Can you state your name?
My name is Kim Molnar. I am with the Prineville Chamber representing
Who?
Explore Prineville.
Who's that?
I don't know some days. So just giving you an update, basically Explore Prineville, for those in the room that don't know, our main role is to promote tourism, bring in people from 51 miles out, fill our hotels, especially during the empty times of the year. Our summer is extremely exciting, but our hotels get full. And so we want to try and bring people in all year long. So that's been kind of our goal with the board and the organization, is to continue to do that, bring visitors in, try and bring new events in, new activities for things for people to do. So as a DMO, which is a destination marketing organization, we really have three measures of success. The first, of course, is the transient lodging tax. The county benefits from those, the city benefits from those, we get a portion of them, and those funds help us continue to do our work and continue to market us so that we can bring in even more people and see growth with that number over the years. The other thing we do is we track our website and social media. Yeah, I'll just point at you when it's time. How's that? Nope, you can go to the third one. Or the fourth one. There you go. Perfect. So we just track our website traffic. We track social media. We've seen pretty significant growth in the past 2 years. Our website has been active for about 1.5 years. And then just event creation and relocation. So we have seen about 3 new events come into Prineville over the past year that are either brand new or have relocated to Prineville because we are way more attractive than some of our neighboring cities that are much more difficult to do work in. So then on to the next slide. Again, I'm not going to read this word for word, but it's just giving people an idea of what exactly is destination marketing. What is it we do? So we work on social media. We work with industries. We work very closely with Visit Central Oregon and Travel Oregon. We do a lot of paid advertising. We also do earned, which is us reaching out to publications, websites, to talk about us and give true stories out there rather than just an ad. Event assistance and promotion, and then we do, of course, the visitor center management as well. So just hitting on like our wins for the past year and where we see the success, that'll be the next slide. Thanks to grant funds from Travel Oregon, we did a visitor center remodel last year. The main focus of that was to make our office more ADA accessible. So we now have a push button door. We have a desk that both employees and visitors are able to use if they have any type of mobility or wheelchair needs. That's been one of our biggest things. Come visit. It's flashy and new and does not look like the old train depot. We've seen a 5% increase in the lodging tax income from both the county and the city. That's overall in the past year. Dark sky development has become a big, huge thing here. We're getting a lot of support from Travel Oregon and Visit Central Oregon. We are partnering with an organization called Wheel the World, which I always say in short term, it's basically the Expedia for people with any type of disabilities, whether it's mobility or anything else. They help people plan a trip that might have challenges the rest of us don't have, to make sure that when they come to our community, they're not surprised and they're set up for success and having a good time here. So they have assessed several of our properties, including one of our hotels, one of our restaurants, and the museum as well. And more to come. I'm working on getting more properties assessed as well. High Desert Moonfest was our new event for the year that came out of our organization. That was a partnered event with the Chamber and Explore. We won an award for that through the Central Oregonian. The community really enjoyed that. We have, like I said, recruited new events that we have coming to town. I hold a position on the Visit Central Oregon board, which gives us a seat at the table for the greater area. So Prineville's not forgotten. And then the last thing that will be kind of a big unveil on July 1st is we receive grant funds. Meadow Lakes will be receiving an accessible golf cart that is for people that do not have the ability to stand and golf normally, so wheelchair users. We will be the only public golf course in Central Oregon to have this cart. It will be free to the users. They don't have to pay to use it. We will have a reservation system. We are already getting phone calls about it. So I will send out information on that, and I will let Deb take over.
Thank you, Kim.
Deb Shaw, Operations Manager, Prineville Chamber. So what is the chamber? We kind of put together a new mission statement last year, and I don't know that I shared it. I think we were right on the cusp of it last year when we met with you. But positively affect regional and community prosperity by fostering and supporting business development and success, community enhancement, and collaborative tourism outreach, which is, of course, the partnership between Explore and the Prineville Chamber. I can read word for word, but information, resources, and organizational function are our primary organizational goals. And we like to say we're the Google of Prineville, right? We want to be the hub of when you need something, when our community needs something, when outside people call and need something or a resource, we want to be the place they call. And we try to offer that information. And we pride ourselves that a lot of times we do have the answer or the resources to provide to them to get the answer. So that's what we feel we are. We're the hub. And we're happy to do it. Next slide, please. Our measures of success are basically about membership health, right? And growth and retention and all of those things. So this is based on the January 24 through January 25, a growth in total members 462 to 518. We had a renewal rate of 49.6, so right about that 50%. Our membership revenue last fiscal year, 82,875. Our membership revenue this current fiscal year is, as of May 31, 82,640. So we might finish a little higher than that at the end of our fiscal year. As you know, we're June 30. And That was primarily due to some of those increases we had done last February. We had not increased for, I think it was since 2019. And so we did up some of our membership costs just slightly. Event growth. So the number of events we held, we had 63 events last year. Some of those you might go, oh yeah, I was at some of those banquets, Stampede. And that's in conjunction, of course, with Ms. Kim. Candy Crawl, Small Business Saturday, the Lighted Christmas Parade. And then I think we often forget about the after hours, the Friday morning perks, the grand openings and the ribbon cuttings that we like to support for our businesses. So that totaled that 63. Our attendance varies. It depends really what's going on in Prineville about those times. Hunting season. Is it, the middle of the winter? What is going on? Weather, those kind of things. Is it an outside event? Is it an inside event? But we see approximately 20 to 30 in attendance at the perks and after hours. Those larger events, we were sold out at the banquet this year at 240. So that was fantastic. Our new events this last year in conjunction again with Kim was the Moon Fest, and she shared the little bit of success with you on that. And then I wanted to mention, of course, just this year, just last month, the success of the annual golf tournament. It was fantastic, and we were able to donate some money to our wildland firefighter group. The hope and intent of that first annual golf tournament is to every year give a little bit back to another nonprofit in our area. That is the intention of that, and that is our goal to continue. Marketing and engagement, website and social media engagement, 7,652 Facebook followers. And this is just like a 28-day preview in May. 35 to 40 average new followers monthly. 111,035 views on our posts. Our newsletter performance that we put out weekly. 10,609 sends. And those are other items, we send during the week too, reminders and things like that. 3,747 people open those, which is a 42% open rate. And 173 clicks within that document. And 2% doesn't sound big, but that is a 2% above the standard that people are looking at that document. I'm kind of proud of it. I think that means they're reading it. So next slide, please. So our success for 24-25, again, that visitor center remodel, we had the grant funds Kim mentioned, but also the chamber board last year held a little bit of our capital funds to put more into that remodel that couldn't be supplemented by the grant. We did the basement of that for our boardroom area that's also accessible for individuals in our area to utilize for meetings. We also did Kim and I's office area, and I know we talked about some of these things last year, but if you haven't seen it, I would love and invite the public and you guys to come and see it, because it really did turn out phenomenal. We used a local contractor and he was great. So, and he used as many local people as he could use. So it just goes to show you how, the spread works, right? And the love. So that was really exciting for us. We had, again, those 64 successful events, addition of the 2 new events, which I don't know if everyone knows, but we operated since November, really middle of November, on 3 staff members. So I really feel like, and from home since October, well, September 26th. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that saying that we had some successful events with all of that happening, I'm really proud of the team. And I just think and the board and our support. So that was fantastic. We had a 50% renewal rate, which in the industry, I'm seeing that's not what others are seeing across the nation. And I feel like that is the support of our organizational partners. I think that's the support of Crook County and Prineville. the presence that we give, and I love that about this area. And then 56 new members. So that's our successes. Did you guys have any questions for us?
I had just had one more thing I wanted to share before we make it public. I want to thank you guys for your support over the past 7 years. As many of you know, I am leaving my role at the end of the month. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing and going where I'm going without the support of this community and you guys trusting us with your funds that you give us to do the work. And hopefully we've been very transparent about how we spend them, but I did want to just thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all your work.
For,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And congratulations on your new position, Kim.
I'll still be around.
Okay,
Hopefully
I'll-
beating.
good. You're still looking out for us,
I'll
right?
be your cheerleader. Yeah.
There you go.
okay, good. Don't forget us.
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, you did very well. Thank you very much, Deb.
Thank you, Deb. Next, Carrie. Approval of amendment and agreement between District Attorney's Office and State of Child Support Services.
Gary Hawthorne. Probably not close enough yet, am I? This is Cassie Garrison, with my office, and she's currently my office manager and has historically been our child support enforcement agent, officer, whatever the proper term is. This is a pretty simple item. The key is that the statute that governed reimbursement for child support enforcement to the county changed. So this agreement modifies the previous agreement that we entered to correct and replace references to the repealed statute to the current statute. It also changes, they don't like the word enforcement. They want to change it to service. So in the statute, they change it to service, whatever. I actually still say enforcement because it's my habit. And that's what it is. And then the other piece that if it's confusing at all, the financial piece that it's referencing, what that is it just increases the cap. It tracks the new statute. It increases the cap of what child support enforcement is allowed to purchase with the promise and be reimbursed for without going in getting pre-approval. So similar to how the county has caps for departments of what you can purchase without coming before the commissioners for pre-approval, it just modifies and increases those amounts. So I think the document was prepared for commissioner signatures. If you prefer to designate that signature to Will, I don't think they care who necessarily signs it. We just wanted to make sure everyone was, if you had any questions about what it is and make sure everyone was on board with it.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions either, Carrie, but it does kind of look like it wants Crook County governing body and it has your authorized signatures. It has commissioners, so I'm assuming it'd just be cleaner.
We
if we
prepared
signed
it
it.
that way
So-
because that's how it's historically been.
Yeah.
And so that was our thought as well, was that it was cleaner. And going forward, if you want these, if there's not a significant change to be designated as well, I'm happy to do it however you want.
I trust you, Jack McCoy. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
commissioners.
so
Thank
I make a motion for approval of the amended agreement between the district attorney's office and the state for the child support services. And I go ahead and just suggest at this time that we as commissioners go ahead and sign it. And at later date, if we want to authorize for Will, that would be fine.
It's good to hear about what's going on and
Yes, and I do.
public to
yes.
know what's going on and yeah.
Okay.
Second,
Motion's been made and second to approve the amendment agreement. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor, say aye.
all right.
Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye. So moved. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Cassandra. Oh,
Yes,
that's a big name. Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't want to touch it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I got that one. Christina. Treasurer's report.
Morning, Commissioners. Christina Herron, Crook County Finance Director. The treasurer's report you have is for our balances as of May 31st. So I will leave it up to you how in-depth you'd like to get. Go through it this time and kind of discuss the different sections if you'd like, or if you have any specific questions that you'd like answered, we can do that as well.
Is there any way we can pull that up on the screen at all? Sarah, geez, I almost called you Christina, Sarah, so that the public could kind of see it. Just so that they can also see as you talk, so they know where the money is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christina does a very, very good job of keeping track of the money for us. Perfect, thank you. And if you kind of just want to give the public just a little bit of you give them the 101 you give me and they'll understand.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, I'm happy to dive in deep or
Okay.
answer any questions if anything gets confusing, so let me know. So the first section we have is all of our bank account balances based on the statement balance at the end of the month. So those are listed out, and then the totals are bank and investment totals and our combined cash totals for the GL. That's our general ledger. So that's what our books show that's in these accounts. The difference between those two, which is the variance, is due to a deposit in transit from our operating account, which is just tax dollars that were receipted one day and then they're deposited the next day at the end of the month. We have outstanding checks of about $558,000. And then we have our tax turnover at the end of the month. That was around $351,000 coming out of our LGIP account. So that makes up that $908,000 variance between what's in our general ledger and the statements from the bank accounts. So the next section that's called pooled cash accounts in the general ledger, this is how those cash balances break out to every fund or every bank code that we have. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, in our general ledger. So you can see how those break out between the bank accounts in our accounting system. And then that total unallocated cash amount at the bottom means that we've allocated correctly all of our cash to our bank accounts in the general ledger. The next allocation is how all of that cash is shared between the funds that the county has. So we do utilize a pooled cash function. So basically all of the cash for all of our funds sits in several accounts. And then this is the allocation that tracks how much of those bank accounts are attributed to each fund. And then you'll see the total of all of those funds matches the total in the pooled cash that was from above. So the next page. Yeah, I appreciate that. It will make you sick if you scroll fast. The next page is our investments and the allocation of those investments from our investment account that you had seen up at the top at Zion's. So this just shows that shows our total cost in US treasuries, corporate bonds, government agency securities, US obligations. And we have no international bonds and municipal bonds. So our investments are governed by an investment policy, which is pursuant to ORS 294. The state allows us a certain mix of investments. And so that those investments comply with that investment policy, which also complies with the state requirements. So the investment values are the total book value of our investments, which is what we purchase those investments at, versus the market value of those investments, which is what they're currently worth as of the end of May. And then the difference in this case is positive. If it was negative, and that would be a gain. If it was negative, it would be considered a loss, but it is unrealized, which means we're not actually going to realize that. It's just looking at the difference between them. We hold most, if not all of our investments to maturity. So that really removes the risk and creates a more predictable return on those investments, which is just the note at the bottom. The next page is the interest rates that we receive from each of the different type of banks and accounts that we have. We're also required to make sure that we hold our funds are qualified depository under the state of Oregon's public funds collateralization. And that is because FDIC only insures up to $250,000. That program allows us to have additional funds that are actually insured in those qualifying depositories because we typically have more significant funds than the $250,000. And then at the very bottom, the county doesn't have any outstanding warrant indebtedness as of the date of this document. Happy to answer any questions if anything was clear as mud.
I
And
thought,
then-
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I just thought you did a great job laying it out like you always do. So thank you.
If you would like any different layout or additional information on it, just let me know. That's just,
No, and it's my understanding that you're going to start presenting this monthly,
correct. This
Which
will be
is-
monthly.
which is very good. I think that this is a good trend that we have. And the public can be aware of how our funds are being invested. Thank you very, very much, Christina.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
So we have a public budget hearing. Rebecca?
Becca, you have a sweet voice. I've got to get away from the fan.
I'm Rebecca Keegan with the Extension Office. I'm here in the matter of order 2025-17. The Crook County Agricultural Extension Service District met on May 20th and they approved the budget. And so they were they were hoping that you guys would adopt the budget today. And so that order for adopting the budget, the service district fiscal year would be July 1st in the amount of $913,000 for the appropriations. I wasn't sure. Do you pull that up, Sarah?
Can
or
we,
I
yeah,
just-
can we put her budget thing up there? Can you do that, please?
Last time I did not share it with Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have you guys had a chance to look at the order number?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
yes.
Sure, that's fine. And then the order number that I have here for you guys to sign just has the extension operating funds with the contingencies that were approved for $744,708, contingency 50,000. So the total appropriations would be $794,708, and then total reserve would be 118,592. And so the total requirements are 913,300. And so this year's budget includes assessing the full taxing value of 0.1207 per thousand for valuation. I'm not sure. That's what I was. Yeah, thank you. Perfect. You guys
We should have
questions
opened
on
public
that?
hearing.
Oh.
I'll do it then. Nope.
Rebecca, did you want to just touch on that Scrivener's error?
Yeah, there was a Scrivener's error when we met on the 20th. If you go back up, Sarah, for all the way. When we met with the Ag Extension advisory board, I made an error on, the actual amounts for a 324. So what they seen on there, which would have nothing to do with this, budget cycle and what you will be approving, but what they seen on that form, was just a scrivener's error. So when they looked at this form, it looked different. But that has nothing to do with what you will be approving, but, I did make an error on that
Thank you.
for the record.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So now we'll open up a public hearing. If anyone who would like to discuss the budget, comment on it. Anyone on Zoom? You're on Zoom and you want to comment on it, you have to write in the comment box. We can open it up for you. Okay, hearing no comments, we'll close the public hearing.
All right, I'd make a motion. I move that the Board of County Commissioners of Crook County, Oregon approve Order 2025-17, adopting the budget for the Crook County Agricultural Extension Service District for the 2026 fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, as approved by the Crook County Agricultural Extension Service District Budget Committee in the amount of $913,300 and adopting property taxes for the Crook County Agricultural Extension Service District for the 2026 fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 in the amount of 0.1207 per 1,000 of assessed value for the permanent rate tax levy.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second to approve order 2025-17. Any more discussion?
No discussion?
No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Ermeling, aye.
Barney, aye.
Thank you.
So moved. Thank you, Rebecca. So Jamie,
I got this one.
okay,
Will Van Vactor, County Manager. Sarah, do you mind pulling up the order 2025-18? Thank you. We're here today to adopt the Crook County fiscal year 2026 budget to make appropriations and impose and categorize property taxes. Some key figures from the budget. Total budget of $132,182,000. Total appropriations of $91,721,000 and $40,461,000 are reserved for future expenses. The appropriations as detailed in the fiscal year 2026 budget, as outlined in order 2025-18, reflect the total approved by the budget committee without any changes. The approved budget and adopted budget for years are the same, ensuring consistency and transparencies in the county's financial plan. The budget includes a permanent rate levy of 3.8702 per $1,000 of assessed value, and debt service of $673,000. If it's approved or adopted as recommended here, this budget will ensure continued spending authority for the county operations starting on July 1st, 2025. All efforts have been made to ensure that this budget aligns with the county's goals and priorities that we discussed earlier this calendar year. I'm happy to answer any questions that the commissioners have at this time. If there are none, we can move on to the public hearing.
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
We'll open up for a public hearing. Anybody in here want to make a comment on the county budget? Anyone on Zoom online? Kirk?
That money, it was like 3.34 for the district attorney's office. Why is it so high?
Kirk, can you?
You gotta say your name
Sit
and
down
address.
and,
Kirk Giovanini.
You might want to pull that back up, Sarah.
Have to watch the training and ask for comments on the DA's office. on the first one.
So your question is just why, what makes up,
Yeah.
what makes up that number?
3.5 million to run the district.
That number is going to reflect personnel costs and materials and services. And Jamie, do you have any detail on the district attorney's budget
There's gotta be some loan
that you could share?
Takes up that much money for a year.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Berger, Budget Manager for Crook County. So the DA's office includes FTE for more than 17 people, several of which are our deputy district attorneys. I believe we have five of those now. Harry, I'm looking at you.
Employed now.
But we have authorization for 5 attorneys. And then the materials and services include contracts for specific softwares for the district attorney's office, as well as contracts with a medical examiner and other very specialized kinds of contracts. And then like any other any other department in the county, they pay the fees to the finance office and IT and others to maintain those sorts of county services that directly serve that office.
It just was kind of funny that our road department is 7 million and our district attorney is 3.5, and there's like a little bit of a difference there. So I just thought I'd ask that question. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a detailed budget itemized, expressed it all out. If you want to see it, it's available.
Yeah, the proposed budget is available on the county's website for.
And it's been on there for quite a while since we went through the budget system.
But that is a good question, and it would be nice if poor Carrie didn't have to prosecute anyone. Unfortunately, crime is rising. And
roads are getting bad.
And our roads are getting bad. And ODOT is mismanaging money more and more. So yes, I do agree with you, Kirk.
If you want to take an even deeper dive, the way that the state allocates
Yes,
road tax dollars is
yes.
specifically set to put rural communities on a bad footing. They do it on population and vehicle registration, not on gallons sold in the county. For obviously a reason, if you just wanted to give people taxes on how many cars and how many gallons were sold in the community, you would do it by that. But instead they do that. And I mean, I could go for hours, but they have a Portland State University that puts out the numbers that we have to use to get those dollars. And the equations that they use make rural communities come in at a lower number than urban communities. And it's a whole scam that the state runs. So that's a big part of the problem with the funding of the road department, because they get less and less money every year because they're gerrymandering the numbers. And so, yeah.
You know, you could go on and on for hours about the state, their mandates without compensation, and it goes on and on, but we'll keep it light.
Rapidly. And maintenance is really an issue, and they don't want to put our dollars towards maintenance. And it's a very, no.
I just trying to figure out.
And the bad thing is poor district attorneys, we have very few, and the workload that Carrie has, no human should have to carry. And that's the really crying shame, and crime is increasing, and it's yeah.
I understand. It's just 17 people for 3.5 million when the road department's like a couple hundred or whatever. It's just a big difference there. So I just.
You're exactly right.
Asking a question.
No, it's a very good question. Totally.
Any more questions from anyone? Online? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Move on to adopt the budget.
Okay, I move that the Board of Commissioners of Crook County, Oregon approve Order 2025-18, adopting the budget for the 2026 fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, as approved by the Budget Committee in the amount of $132,182,000 and adopting property taxes for the 2026 fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, in the amount of $3.8702 per $1,000 of assessed value for the permanent rate tax levy and in the amount of $673,000 for the general obligation bond levy.
Second.
Motion's been made and second to approve order 2025-18. Any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye. So move. Adopt the budget 2025-18. Thank you, and thanks for your comments.
Yeah, definitely. We need more road dollars. I agree with you, Kirk.
Okay, we're off to public and adopting
Sean.
museum. Sean? Jamie and Will.
I think was.
I can try to do it. So order 2025-19 is an order approving or adopting the budget for the Crook County Historical Museum Fund for fiscal year 26, beginning July 1st, 2025. The budget is in the total amount of $827,000. It includes ad valorem and property taxes levied at a rate of 0.0600 per $1,000 of assessed value for the Crook County Historical Fund Bowman Museum local option levy tax rate. I'm happy to answer any questions about the proposed budget. I believe this also is consistent with what was approved by the Budget Committee earlier this year.
Questions? Any? Open this up for a public hearing. Any comments? Any comments online? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
I move that the Board of Commissioners of Crook County, Oregon approve order 2025-19, adopting the budget for the Crook County Historical Fund for the operations of the Bowman Museum for the 2026 fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, as approved by the Budget Committee in the amount of $827,000 and adopting property taxes for the Crook County Historical Fund for the operations of the Bowman Museum for the 2026 fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 in the amount of 0.0600 per $1,000 of dollars of assessed value for the local option tax levy.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and second to approve order 2025-19. Any more discussion?
The only discussion I have is Seth only gets 6 cents and the small, and I have the $3.87.
Yeah, both mine together don't add up to yours.
I know, and so somehow there's an unfairness to this, and the taxpayers are gonna come after me, but that's my only discussion. But anyway, let's go for the vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Herman,
Aye.
aye.
Barney, aye. So move. Approve order 2025-19. And I would like to say that Sean's doing a great job with the museum and the Historical Society. They do some great skits and things periodically that are history orientated and well done. Bet, thank you.
And his entire staff shows a tremendous enthusiasm. And if you haven't been there, you need to go because he does a wonderful job and yeah. A very nice place to go. That's my my relaxing, my Zen place is where I go. Yeah.
Okay, our next item is Sean,
There we go.
operational hours.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Briscoe, Director of the Bowman Museum. So I wanted to discuss with you a proposal regarding the museum's operational hours. As it currently stands, we operate on 2 seasonal schedules, a non-summer schedule, Tuesday through Saturday, from September 1st to May 26th, and summer hours, Monday through Saturday, May 26th through September 1st. In an effort to eliminate confusion with our community and visitors, help with limiting staffing at the museum, currently we have 2 full-time staffers and are working on filling the vacant position. And maximize productivity, I'm proposing that the museum stay with our non-summer Tuesday through Saturday hours year-round. As Monday is our lowest visitation day, moving to a consistent schedule of Tuesday through Saturday year-round has many benefits. This would help eliminate confusion for our visitors who are often unaware that our hours change seasonally. It would allow an ease on some of the pressure on our limited staffing resources. Additionally, having 1 day a week with the museum closed would give staff time to work on larger in-house projects, conduct off-site projects, and hold meetings without the restrictions of staffing the front desk. Furthermore, this allows the museum to schedule tours at the museum without disrupting our visitors' experience. From a public standpoint, I don't foresee any negative impact. The community is accustomed to the museum being closed on Mondays, as this is our scheduled majority of the year. By maintaining the schedule consistently throughout the year, it would provide our visitors with a consistent schedule that allows them to properly plan visitation to the museum. After considering the potential benefits, I believe this change will have a positive impact on the museum's operation and our public experience. The proposal was presented also to the Historical Society Board for input, and it was unanimously adopted or supported. I'm happy to answer any questions. I just wanted to get your guys' feedback and thoughts on these. We kind of took a real hard look at some of the things we've seen over the years since I've been there on switching of the schedules. And it would be nice to have a consistent schedule for our visitors because it does cause quite a bit of confusion and it does help with a lot of the projects that we're starting to move forward on. And especially with just 2 staff people currently, it gives us an opportunity to actually get some bigger projects done. Perfect timing.
Yeah, the fan. I just love the fan.
Yeah, it makes tracks to me. I mean, especially, I think it's really important to be open on that weekend when people are coming through town and want to share our history with them. And
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine with it.
I'm totally
Makes sense.
fine yeah. And you checked with the Historical Society, they're fine. I totally support you. I don't feel we need a motion or anything. I think that's an operational decision on your part. So I thank you for coming forth and making this public and this here and telling us.
Mhm.
And I thank you for that, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you. 10, courthouse tree removal, James.
Morning, Commissioners. James Bruce, Facility Director. I'm here to propose removing 6 trees surrounding the courthouse. The cedars, they're large. They're leaning out to get away from the courthouse to get sun. It's causing stress on the foundation from the roots going back on the opposite side of the lean. And it also, them leaning, if we got a good saturation of the ground, there's a possibility these trees could fall over and pull the foundation with it. So to protect that courthouse, I'd like to remove the 6. There's 4 on the face of the building, and 2 on the west side of the building that I'd like to remove. It also open it up to show the beauty of that beautiful courthouse and represent better. So that's what I'm here for to do. We have 1 bid currently for $5,100. Also go out for more bids if need be. It's a good local company, Lindsay Land and Tree. And they came out and look at it and agree with us. We run this one after. So, and if you look at the picture, you can see these trees were not originally, I don't believe that they didn't think about the growth. So they're right on the foundation line. You can see them leaning out. And that puts stress on the backside where it's up against the foundation. If you scroll down a little bit, Sarah, you can see how close that one in the bottom left is. And to preserve that building, really a deal that needs to be done and necessary. So I'm here to ask permission to do that.
I walked with James and looked at these. I called Sean and we discussed it, and Sean was going to go ahead and talk to the Historical Society, and I'm assuming he did, and there was no feedback. And I totally agree. I think they're more dangerous for her. I call her, I've given the courthouse a female connotation. Anyway, I think it's more dangerous for her than having them there. So I think that it's very prudent that we remove them. And I think that Lindsay, I think they're local. I think they do a good job, and I am very much for us doing it. I think we need to do it very right away and it also, I think, will be good for the rock. I know the windows need to be reglazed. There's windows behind there. I think it's a first step towards taking care of her. And the ivy, I don't know if any of you have realized that ivy's gone, and the guys took it down and there were rat's nests and a lot of really awful things in the ivy that James can tell you. And it's been a tremendous improvement just getting the ivy off that rock, that all the damage that it was doing. And I think this is our second step in kind of getting her back to her glory.
Yeah, we're trying to make it, pick her up and make
Spruce her up, get her in her party clothes.
Painted the fountain. We've our local window landscaping has donated their time and put rock around the torch and the flame and did a border. So we're doing stuff to really make her stand out for us.
Yeah, the ivy was nasty.
Yeah, that was starting to dig its way into a lot of the wood, and the rock. So removing that also helped.
Yeah, and I think it's very important because most people consider a foundation as a concrete foundation. That foundation consists of rocks and put together with mortar. And so it's easy to penetrate it, it's easy to go through it. And that's what the roots are doing. So it's great to get those trees out of there.
So I make a motion for us to go ahead and remove the 6 trees and award the contract to Lindsay Tree and whatever tree and
Tree.
what is it?
Tree.
Lindsay Land and Tree. That's kind of different. Okay, Lindsay Land and Tree in the sum of $5,100.
Second.
What's been made and seconded to approve removal of the trees? Any further discussion?
Yeah, no, I agree too, that we need to get rid of the trees. I know that we talked with the Historical Society in the past, and they were actually, I would say they were actually in favor.
Yes.
Do you want to come up and maybe give a quick explanation of what you heard from them in the Historical Society, from the Historical Society of how it looked in the past, and that's kind of a relatively new addition to the courthouse?
Yes. So when I discussed this with the Historical Society, there was no opposition, especially because it has it's a danger to the building, and especially with the foundation, especially with getting her all spruced up.
Get her party clothes on.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
It's for the integrity of the building. So, and then also looking back at historic pictures, these aren't historic trees. These are not part of the original landscape of the courthouse. And so they were in full support of, especially when it comes to preserving the courthouse.
Perfect. Thanks for putting that. The only other thing I would say is I think it's really important that we get that information out to the community as quickly after we do it as possible, or maybe right before. I don't know what the best timing is on that, but I think it's important to make sure we share that information with the community, that these are not historic trees. These are not something that was here from the beginning. This is something that's been added over time. And that they are a major detriment to the building. And so
I'll see if I can work with Sarah. Maybe Sarah can help me put something out.
Yeah, I just think we would
Just a-
make sure the public understands why we're doing it, and we're trying to respect her.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm getting the word out.
Not take her down.
That's okay. Perfect. All righty.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion to remove the trees?
Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thanks,
Thank you,
James.
Commissioner.
Order 2025-20, Planning Commission. Mr. John.
Good morning, Commissioners. I think I'll sit here since Mr. Bland is gone, and there might be some public comment on this one. For the record, John Eisler, Community Development Director. Correct, Commissioner, as you said, this is Order 2025-20 for a Planning Commission vacancy. Cal Walters resigned at the end of March. We went through the process pursuant to our appointment order. We advertised for 30 days. We got 6 applications. We did the planning staff meet and greet. We went through the planning commission interviews. And through that process, this is the planning commission's recommendation to you. Out of those 6 applications, the one that they are recommending for the planning commission vacancy is Hunter Newharth. He has ag experience and lives out in Paulina Valley, and impressed everyone in the planning commission. On the pro tem position, as we went over that and as I interpreted our county code provision on how that works, and my desire to have a 7-member board deciding all land use decisions as often as possible, and to relieve any quorum concerns for scheduling, they are recommending 2 pro tem positions. These are each 1 year. They're kind of like a training ground and an on deck circle position. And so for those, Kirk Giovannini, say that better that time, and Monty Kurtz. And so both Kirk and Monty are here today. If you have any questions for them, I think Hunter said he was going to be in Alaska and get on if he could, but he's, I think, fishing. But otherwise, I'm here if you guys have any questions. I did get confirmation from everyone except for Isaiah that applied this time and did not get the planning commission spot. They wanted to roll their applications forward to this next one that is open. Sorry, yes, you're right. Thank you, Sarah. The opening for that one ended yesterday. I know I saw 2 new applications. Is that all we got? So there was the 3rd one I didn't see. You know, all right. So yeah, so we have 7 applications for this next round. We're gonna go through that same process. The planning commission's decision in this time for what's before you today, they were taking into account there would be another opening with their selections. And so we had some really great candidates that are pushing their application forward that you may see very soon. So if you have any questions for staff before you, this doesn't require a public hearing, but you're open to take any comment you want. And I'm here if you have any questions.
I am extremely pleased at the quality of the candidates that we had. In fact, I read the ones for next month.
I haven't read those
Last night.
ones yet.
See, I'm ahead of you, John.
Got back from vacation.
I am extremely pleased because I remember back when we were beating the bushes to get candidates. So I'm extremely pleased at the quality of candidates. Obviously, Gary Bedortha and I were on there and we represented Paulina, and I was very worried about Paulina being represented. And so I'm very pleased that Hunter has stepped up to represent us because we're kind of a little unique place out there that people forget about us, and we're tiny but mighty. So I'm very pleased to see Hunter there. And I'm also very pleased to see Kirk step up and Monty. So I'm very happy with this. Okay, quit. Oh dear. Quit doing this. Okay, I'm having this blinking thing come on. I'm very pleased to see who the planning commission has brought forward, and I'm going to be very excited to see.
Just turn the sound off.
I'm going to be very excited to see next. It's just done. I'm going to be very excited to see who they recommend for next month, because again, a really good portfolio of candidates for next month also.
Share your enthusiasm.
Yes. Yes. It makes me want to be back on the planning commission.
Brad's full.
I don't have any questions. I think Commissioner stated it well.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to hear from the public.
We can hear from the public, and then Kirk and Monty can come up and could ask them a question, or they could just introduce themselves. There.
We can grill them.
Yeah, if you like.
So let's do you want to do the comments? Let them come up and speak for a minute, and then we can do the comments. Kind of make it a little easier.
Kirk, you're listed first on the order here.
Yep. Just introduce yourself and a little history.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Kirk Giovannini, pretty much a lifelong resident of Prineville. Went to school here all through school. I am raising children in this school district now. I'll be honest with you. I told this to the people in my interview. You're not going to make no waves unless you jump in the driver's seat, or you're not going to win a race, you know? And so that's why I'm here, is because I'm not going to be a backstander. I want to do something to help the community. And I want to be a voice of common sense for our community. And also forward advancement. I mean, we're going to grow, but I want it to grow in the roots of Crook County, the way that we were raised before it became like it is now. I understand that this place is going to explode, but there's lots of issues that are underlined that people don't understand that just move here, you know, where they don't know that we're high desert. That's water, you know, that we're going to run out of water eventually. And people that move here from a place that has lots of water, they don't get that. They think you just get water from, you know, wherever, the tap. That's where the common sense is going to come in, I hope, with me being on the commission. And I look forward to representing you guys in a positive way for Crook County.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you for putting your application in. I really
Yep.
appreciate it. You have the right attitude.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. I'm Monty Kurtz, Pal Butte. Looking forward to, representing Pal Butte. I know we've had some representation out there throughout the years, and to just the opportunity to learn everything I can from the other members on the Planning Commission. I think that I've seen a lot as I've gone to other Planning Commission meetings, and just think that, it's a great public service. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Monty. Thank you.
Any questions?
And what I hope you guys do develop is a chemistry. I know when I was on there, we had a really good chemistry and we respected each other and we didn't always agree. But what's good is to have people with different opinions, because that's how you grow. If you all think the same, it isn't as growth inducing. So I hope you find that, where you look at each other and the different ideas that come, because we are changing and we can't stagnate. But we have to grow in a controlled fashion, and we have to look at all that. And you do bring history, and I think that's super important, Kirk. And Monty, you do bring progress, and that's important too. And we have to blend those two together. So anyway, enough of me. But don't forget Paulina out there, okay? I know we had somebody to comment.
Yes.
What are you saying about Paulina now, Mike? Okay. So you're carrying about Paulina? Okay.
The thing about me is I've worked for almost all those ranchers out there at one time or another, so.
Okay.
I've worked in Pal Butte, I've worked in.
Okay. You know how ornery we are out there, see? So you got to take care of us.
Fix your place up.
Okay.
Gail, did you have a comment?
Oh yeah,
She
very
still
viable.
is. She's still in the folder. Yes. And she's been encouraged, and yes, she's still viable. So. Say your name and your address.
Yep.
Gail Staniford, 6800 Mill Creek Road, Prineville. That's it.
That's it.
I just feel the decisions made by the Crook County Planning Commission are very important to the future of Crook County. Our youth, especially the youth who have grown up here and understand the custom and culture
of this area are important to be managed thoughtful growth. They have the unique position of understanding how our collective identity was shaped by our past and how it should influence how we grow. It's important to watch and understand growth in other areas and let them inform our decisions. Appropriately seasoning our decisions with what we learn from others is important. Maintaining our identity as our core is paramount. It takes listening and understanding the citizens of the county. This is why I believe Nicole Onco should sit on the Planning Commission. Her background and experience is rooted in this county. She's an excellent thinker and smart negotiator. She ventured out to get worldly experience and came back to start a family. She understands where we have been and how that should shape and be woven into the fabric of our future.
Perfect. Good job.
Very, very well said. And
Yes.
I do agree with everything you said. She is a very, very fine
And
candidate.
we need young people like Kirk. I support him too.
Yes.
You call me young, Gail. He's young.
You are exactly right, Gail. She's a very, very fine candidate.
Yeah, I just think we need the young people because us old people aren't going to be around that much longer.
No.
You know, what can I
And,
say?
and you know what? It's their world. It's their world and our grandkids'
and
world. And we need to look
people
out
that
for it.
Understand the culture and customs of what Prineville was and should stay. I know growth's coming, but we really need to manage that growth. I mean, it's already hell going through Prineville. You know, you're backed up 3 blocks in the middle of the day. You can't even get through. You know, so
I
I know
agree.
growth's coming, but I just feel like we need the young people in there helping to keep the custom and cultures in Crook County that we all enjoy.
I'll just add real briefly, something I forgot to mention was, so the 2 pro tem nominations, they are still eligible for any future planning commission vacancies. And so there are 2 of the names that are moving forward on that. And I can say the planning commission was very impressed with Nicole. Very impressed with, everything that Gail said. They echoed those comments. The main concern was her availability during the summer months. And so they thought that maybe this next round, the timing would be better for her congregation.
We're in the modern day and age. There's Zoom, she's right in camp. She's available. She can read documents. She could be on Zoom. She'd be right here. She would be really involved. I really think she would be a good candidate. So is she off at this time?
Just this round.
But
Well,
We have another opening that
she's in the,
closed yesterday.
As a board could approve her if we wanted to today.
we could, but she is in the folder for the next round. I read her application again yesterday. She's in for next round.
I just feel like, nowadays you can be involved even if you can't be here. Look at all the people on Zoom.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Gail.
But I think even more than that, it's a really good time to get her on there because the summer's coming, and then that would give her an opportunity to see how that affected. Because I know that she and the board are concerned about having enough time. And if we get her on now, then there's time for her to be able to go over the summer, test going to these meetings, and test being part of it. And I think at the end of the summer, then she would have a better feeling of how does this look? And I know that I've gotten lots and lots of calls saying that people in our community believe that she's the right choice for this position. So I'd make a motion to approve the slate minus Monty, adding Nicole.
I'm not comfortable. I am
Fair
going to
enough.
go with the slate that the planning
Okay.
commission has proposed.
Just so you're aware, Commissioner Crawford, the planning commission, they had those discussions about Nicole and her availability and the availability of Zoom, and they thought it was better, maybe this next round to give her a harder look.
And I am a strong supporter of Nicole. Nicole has been in my office. I was the one that encouraged her to put in her application. So I am a very strong supporter. And, but I am going to go ahead and go with the slate that has been presented today. Not because I don't agree with everything that you have said and not because I am not a supporter of her. I am. But at this time, I'm going to go with this slate.
As I am going to support the planning department's committee's decision. So I would entertain a motion to approve order 2025-20.
So moved.
Second, I'll second it.
Oh, no,
Motion,
you made the motion, didn't you?
no, you
I-
didn't.
Oh, I did. Okay, okay, okay. You seconded. Okay.
I second. So motion, any discussion?
No discussion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye.
Nay.
So move, let the record show that, Commissioner Hermrick and Commissioner Barney approve. And, Seth Crawford, Commissioner Crawford is no. Okay, that's one's done. Managers report. Will.
Thank you, commissioners. A couple of quick items this morning. First, I want to note that we still have a survey available online, online for folks to provide feedback regarding the services being provided by Crook County and specifically the admin department. So that survey is available on our website. It's still open. We are going to close it here probably in the next week or so that we can incorporate the results into some documentation. So I encourage folks to take this opportunity to get on our website and fill that survey out. Next, I wanted to note quickly, at our last regular board meeting, Commissioner Crawford asked for a sort of workflow to address the use of videos for our boards and committees, and to ensure that we're using Zoom and we're recording and uploading those videos. We're very close to having a final product put together to present to the board. We're looking at rolling that out, maybe a soft rollout in July with a firm go live date, August 1st. I want to take this next week to have a conversation with our departments and to kind of put some final details together before I present that next week to the board in response to Commissioner Crawford's request. So just wanted to give the board an update on that matter, but we're just about ready to roll that out.
Thanks for working on that, Will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my pleasure. That's all I have this morning.
Commissioner report.
Okay, first of all, when we went ahead and I guess forgave, or however we want to say, the fees for the high school rodeo, 2 of the days were supposed to be in there and weren't. And basically they're for the Carrie Foster Hall, which is 2 of the days, June 13th and June 14th. And they're for $588 each. And they, on one of the days, they need a stage for $66. So I'm asking, and which comes to a total of $1,242. So I'm making a motion at this time for us to take, and I have checked with finance, so it's totally fine as far as the community benefit. It's kind of just an oversight on our part when we did it. It wasn't included. So I'm asking for $1,242 to be taken out of the community benefit fund in for high school rodeo. That's the motion I'm making.
Second.
Motion's been made and second to approve $1,242 for the additional fees for the compensation for the PD road or
High
just
school rodeo for June 13th and June 14th.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Hermrick, aye.
Barney, aye.
Aye.
So move.
Okay, the second thing is Eastside Church would like to go on June 27th from 11 to 2 and have a prayer service in front of the courthouse. They are not going to actually even put up anything that says Eastside Church. It was a misunderstanding that they were going to put up a banner. They're not going to do that. All they want to do is, you know how you have those little canopies that you put in the trunk of your car and you pop it up. They want to put a canopy so they're not hot.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
can sit under it. And that's all they want to do. And they really, at first they thought they'd put something that said Eastside Church, but now they don't want to, because what they just want to do is anybody that comes by between 11 to 2, they don't want to make it denominational. They just want to sit and pray. So I make a motion that we go ahead and allow them on June 27th from 11 to 2 to be able to go ahead and have their little prayer service with a canopy in front of the courthouse.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me.
That-
If we allow everybody, it's the
Yes.
freedom of
Yes,
speech, you can
yes.
do.
And that's it. And like she said, that at first, no, there's no banner really. She said maybe they put, but she didn't think they'd even put that because they didn't want it to be that it was specifically their church. So that was the confusion there. And I told her I would call her this afternoon to tell her that that was fine. But they were just afraid of the heat.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I'd make a motion. Are you, do we,
But do we even need?
I
to
don't
make a
think we even
motion?
need a motion, do we?
I don't know. Do we? Will?
No.
Okay, then I will just call her and tell her that that's totally fine for her to go ahead and do that, but I just wanted to check. Okay. And that's all I have really.
Okay, I don't have anything either.
Chair, I have one more minor issue that I meant to address at the last board meeting. So a couple of board meetings ago, Commissioner Crawford presented an invoice for the Juniper Canyon cleanup. And that included, I don't think this was clear at the time, but it included some landfill fees related to wolf depredation and disposal fees at the landfill. It wasn't just for Juniper Canyon cleanup. My recollection is it was in the range of a couple $100s. You guys a year or so ago had a conversation about covering some of those fees. I just wanted to clarify that the intent was to pay that full invoice, including, because I think we just discussed the Juniper Canyon cleanup as part of paying that. So I just wanted to clarify real quick while we're all together. The intent was to cover that. So
Yeah, we've been, reimbursing the landfill for that, for the parks and the Crooked River and the roads and different things, so.
Yeah, but- I think this is, I mean, what he's saying is it's a
This is a
separate amount
carcass
of the carcass
a
deal
carcass.
for the Wolf Committee.
Which we did approve if you had a card
Yep.
that you could take your carcass there. So I guess the question would be, did they just throw a dead horse on and say, oh, it's a wolf, or did they have the card? Because that was the proper thing. But it's been so long.
Well, it didn't have to do with it being attacked by a wolf. It had to do with reducing
I
bone
get
piles
that.
in the area.
I get that, but
But I guess
again,
you could say if
they
they're
were
not in
supposed to,
those
they
areas.
were supposed to have a card.
Yeah,
I think they
Theoretically.
were using the card. I think
Did
that's
they
how
have the
I
card?
think that's how it got linked onto this invoice. The original
Then-
invoice before Juniper Canyon.
Then we said if they had the card that was to, and I agree, it's not a wolf kill.
yeah,
It's a getting it out.
deterrent.
Yes, which we talked about anyway, but yes,
I just
if
wanted.
it
to
had the
clarify that
card,
because
then it
the
should,
Original conversation.
should be. And as we're talking about the wolf thing, so because of county college, we kind of got all the counties. There's really been a lot of wolf deprivation in Walla County. And so we've been having Zoom meetings with Mark Owens. And we're sort of putting together, we were going to declare an emergency of all Eastern Oregon counties. Paul Andrus has been on it. And then we decided not to do that. So we're kind of putting together a letter about delisting the rest of the state. And Lisa Collier wrote a letter, which is okay. It's not probably grammatically totally good. And Sarah has kind of cleaned it up. We haven't had another meeting, but that's coming down the pike. And I told them that Crook County, obviously, we're not against delisting. So as it gets closer, that's something that I'll be bringing forth. And again, I don't think any of us are against having it delisted. It's not a big deal. Bence has been on it. Mark Owens has been on it. Oh my gosh, Todd Nash has
yeah,
been on
Nash has
it.
been-
Yeah. And it's just been kind of the county college people. We've been on it. Will is he was in on it at first, but now it's just been me. But we've been having meetings. But anyway, so we're kind of we haven't had a meeting this week, but down the road. So that's something coming down the pike, which I haven't said anything about, but it isn't anything super controversial or anything. Obviously, we want them delisted.
And it would have to be a federal delisting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no,
state- the state's
exactly.
Not
Yeah.
gonna be able to get that.
No, it's not anything. It's just that we're just basically, and Paul Andrus's thing is, let's get it honed down, and he's presenting it to Eastern Oregon counties. And so it's gonna be we're all joining together, so it'll probably be presented more as an Eastern Oregon county. But I have said, we will go, yes, Crook County is obviously interested in going in on this, but just so you know, because anyway. But yeah, that's the wolf thing, but Walla is really getting pounded back.
And Lake,
Yeah, and
Lake got brutalized.
and they're on there too, yeah. Yeah, they're getting pounded pretty hard. So anyway. And Northern California, they had a mare foaling and the wolves ate as the foal was coming out. They ate the foal out of the mare as it was coming out, which is just, and then who was it that was saying in Northern California at night, the wolves are in the street? That's how bad it is. So anyway, that's here nor there. That's
So I remembered, I noticed the two ladies in the back that are always here. John, do you have I think we have an update for you on the information sent out by OHA.
I don't have an update since I've been gone. I think the day before I left, I was able to talk to Greg briefly, and he was trying to contact our Katie Plum. We have the list.
But we have a list, and OHA is working on sending a letter out, and we've been giving them all the information we can to do that. And we just are kind of, again, waiting on the state. I know that's
as always
tired of hearing that, but the other part, I was able to get those the specific amounts that they've received over the last, and did you say you already have those? Okay. So let's get together and I can share that with you. And so maybe you guys can use that when you go to the legislature and push on them. So then you can have hard numbers saying, this is what you've collected from the state of Oregon. Where are these dollars going? Why are they not coming to our community to help our community when there is an actual issue? No problem.
So, okay, more comment? Anybody have any comments they want to mention?
Mike, how could we not have a meeting without you, Mike?
Well, I don't know, but you managed a couple of times. I've been absent.
Yeah.
Mike Irvin, Paulina Highway. I'd like to congratulate Hunter, Kurt, Monty on the planning commission. I think they're good picks. And I would also like to echo all of the comments that have been said about Nicole. She's an awesome person and been friends with her for a long time. So again, I won't go into a lot of detail there, but I echo everything that everybody has said. Another item is just an observation of these meetings and during the votes that you as commissioners have. I've noticed that 2 commissioners announced their name prior to their vote. 1 does not. I don't know if there is a specific rule there or not, but I would like to request that all commissioners announce their name prior to a vote to avoid confusion. Beyond that, as far as the trees at the courthouse, awesome idea. I hate to see them go, but I understand why, and it needs to be done for her.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I'm really feeling empowered right now.
But I'm not, I don't share the same enthusiasm for the blue fountain in front of her face. But that's just me.
Poor Jay. I want you to know the day that it started flowing, Curtis Hooper pulled up right in front. And I did tell James, where's the towels and the bubble bath? You know, he was ready.
I'm sure that it was the same color as it was 100 years ago, and somebody did an awesome job doing it, but you know what I mean. As far as the Chamber of Commerce, and I see those folks have left, and no offense to them, and I'm not speaking specifically about them, but you see around the country, the Chamber of Commerce does a really good job of supporting their members. And there are times when they don't necessarily support, or I'm not sure how to say this, but you know, you get to a point of calling a boycott against people that businesses that are not their members. And I really don't want to see that kind of thing happen around here. And I'm hearing rumbling. And just wanted to throw that out there so we can pay attention to it, because if that's happening, that's just wrong all over. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, and on the not saying the last name, that's really for when you only have audio, not video. And also when you don't have a roll call vote on the actual thing, but it's not that big of a deal. I'll try and do it more often.
Okay, well, it's might
yeah.
not be a big deal, but it is to me and
Yeah.
some of the people and that can't see what's going on. Thank
But
you.
they can see what's going on. And also, the other part of it is, I mean, at that point, we should start doing it when we say second and make a motion as well. And so, I mean, we can, every time we talk, should we say our name before we say it? It's at some point, government gets a little, we're trying to be efficient and not just have to add all kinds of things. So, but it's not a huge deal. So.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the comment.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to make a comment? How about online? Anybody? Nobody? Well, thank you everyone for attending the meeting, either Zoom or in person. You have no executive session, so entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made. Any discussion? Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Barney, aye.